Yeah, the big thing for us tonight, it's such a long season, and you have to be able to adjust, and you have to be able to figure out what is it we need to do. You know, and the only person that figured that out was the coach. You know, we came in and watched film as a team on Sunday, and when we left that meeting Sunday, we knew what we had to do, and that was push the pace. We're no good slow. You know, because we attack man-to-man defenses pretty good. Teams were starting to slow us down and make us play in the half court. You know, Cincinnati is a half-court defensive team. They want the game to be slow, and they beat a lot of teams there. I'm not. There's nothing to be upset about losing to Cincinnati, but our pace was starting to slow down. Then we came home and played Connecticut. Our pace got a little bit slower. Then we go to SMU and we got our pace back up again because they played us man-to-man. Then we came home against South Florida. We were almost playing backwards. We were so slow. But the good thing is we figured it out. And tonight from the get-go, as soon as that ball was tipped, we were on the balls of our feet running. And this team is built to run. You know, again, we're in a process here. We're not a finished team. That team's got 9 seniors. That team is what it is. You know, we've been here 18, 19 months. When I recruited Galen, I told him we want to run. We want to be a fast team. Galen's not a half-court, slow-it-down point guard. He wasn't built that way. But our pace was really good tonight. Our energy level was really good. We've been a good team all year. We've lost some tough games. But in that 4 games that we lost, really the 2 losses that you look at, it was just 2. It was Connecticut and South Florida at home. You know, losing to Cincinnati, you know, I'm not apologizing for that, and I'm not going to apologize for losing at SMU. We competed our tails off in those games, but we're a good enough team to have won those 2 home games. But we didn't play good enough. But we played good tonight. But we figured out how we have to play the rest of the year. You know, if we can, Chick is not a low post scorer. But look how many dunks he got in transition tonight because he can run. Look at Rob Gray tonight early. All his baskets came from transition. Look what Galen was doing every time. He pushed it. You know, we've got to get the game into an 80s pace. You know, it was a good win because Tulsa's a good team, but the thing I was most happy or proud of tonight was how we won. We won playing the way we have to play.
Was the pace the reason for the starting 5 tonight?
Who did I start? Who was different? Those guys have been starting off and on all year. I don't know that. You know, Galen. Who was different to start? I don't know what your question is.
No, I mean just overall, you know, you mix it up. Sometimes you don't have Rob or Galen. You just wanted more emphasis to push the pace tonight.
Well, we lost 4 in a row, so everybody can start. I mean, I could have started Burt at 2 and been justified. You know, I started a point guard in Galen, a 2 in Rob, a 3 in Doc, a 4 in Chicken, and a 5 in Kyle. So we don't really have a starting lineup. No, the one thing that I tried not to do tonight was substitute as early as much as I have been. You know, in the NBA, after coaching that league for so long, everybody knows when they're going to go in and come out. It's a pattern. That shouldn't be like that in college because it's a shorter game. We only play 40 minutes. The NBA is 48. You know, and there's 4 12-minute quarters. We have a 2-minute timeout at 16, 12, 8, and 4. You should be in shape. You get to sit on your butt for 2 minutes. Not to mention, each coach has 4 timeouts, and not to mention these referees blow these whistles like they're experimenting with them all the time. So there's so many dead balls. Well, get in shape. Play 30 minutes a game. I mean, I think that was probably Galen's most minutes he's played, but it's also the best he played.
Kelvin, did pushing the pace, did that kind of help with the shots because maybe they weren't thinking as much of just going with the flow of the action?
Great point. I think when you're playing so slow, every shot is under a microscope. You could tell it. I was sitting there after the game. I said, "Was it me, or did I feel like our guys were every shot was life or death. You know, and there's such a lethargic. And I said, you know, we got to fix that. And the good thing is it's fixable. You know, there's some things aren't fixable. You know, we had some things going on last year that, you know, we couldn't fix for obvious reasons. But with this team, we scored 105 points against LSU. We scored almost 80 against Murray State. We scored almost 80 on the road at Temple. I mean, we're a fast team. But for some reason, we were starting to slow down. And we had to remind our guys who we are. So, but I thought the film session Sunday night was a start. But it means nothing. But boy, and I had a radio show Monday night, and I told the listeners that I thought that was our best practice of the year Monday. Because that practice was boom, 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 boom. We were getting after it. I mean, that was a great practice. Then we came back yesterday, had another really good practice. So, but I have high character guys. I don't worry about anything that would be with any negativity. I mean, think about it. We're 14-6. Think about the teams that are 6-14. Those are the ones that are struggling. We're 14-6, and we're 4-4 in the league. And you can easily make an argument that we could be 6-2. And if we're 6-2, we'd be in first place. I don't count SMU because I'm thinking of, I guess, the first seed in Orlando. So, but that's what we are. You know, we're a team that when we play with pace, we can beat anybody in this conference. But when we don't, anybody can beat us.
Kelvin, along with the film and stuff, the free throw improvement, 21 to 25.
Yeah, I mean, everybody shoots more free throws than us, Joseph. But some young man asked me about that last game. Just because you work hard on free throw shooters every day, it's not going to be, you know, this isn't, you know, instant oatmeal. It's not going. You're not going to become a bad go from being bad to a good in 24 hours. It's a process. We work hard at free throw shooting. It's starting to pay off now. You know, it doesn't pay off 2 hours later or a day later or 2 days later. You know, our free throw shooting was a byproduct of hundreds and hundreds and hours of extra free throw shooting. You know, each assistant coach is assigned, not assigned, but they pick out 2 or 3 guys apiece and they have to come make 100 every day. Who do you shoot with? Coach Brooks. Yeah, I mean but they were working at that. Now because we didn't shoot well from the free throw line last game, didn't mean we're not working at it. Just, you know, it takes time. You know, when you're not a good free throw shooter, you know, some guys can go from being just average to pretty good, and that might be their window. But one of the things that helped us tonight was that Chicken only shot 2. Chicken's been shooting 8 or 9 free throws. He's been killing our percentage. You know, Dot's a good free throw shooter. Ronnie's a good free throw shooter. Not the strongest point in this kid's game either now. But I just thought he did a good job playing point guard today.
Yeah, Galen, how did the quicker pace help you out there on the floor when you're pushing the ball up the court? How does that help you? Is it with the other guys around you? Just what's it like out there?
The past couple of games, I kind of got away from who I am, and that is a fast-paced point guard. So I had to get back to, you know, playing our brand of basketball, which is pushing the ball, you know, and getting open shots in transition and just being aggressive.
What's the night? Did you feel more comfortable? Is this your best game in your opinion?
I just came out tonight and just wanted to play aggressive, you know. We've been watching film, and it was kind of embarrassing because I'm being so passive, and when I can just be making so much more happen for my team. So I tried to come out and do that tonight, and I think I did a good job.
Galen, they got within 10, I think a little bit early in the second half, and then you guys went on that run. When you're coming off of the span that y'all are on, and then, you know, there's a tendency to maybe say, uh-oh, you know, what went on there? Because it looked like during that span, I think you had 8 or 9 of your points. Just can you talk about that move that they made, but how y'all countered it and pushed it back up?
Usually when we have a lead and they go on a run, sometimes we separate from each other, but we stay together. You know, I think that's what helped. And, we kept on being who we are. We didn't panic. We kept on finding open man, and just happened to be me, and I happened to make the shots.
Coach, what are your thoughts?
Just to add to that, we didn't let off the pace. You know, during that stretch, I think Chicken might have had 2 dunks in transition. Ron might have had a layup in transition, and we had a lot of guys getting easy baskets, you know, before Joseph. That's a good observation. And we slowed down. We're not good slow. Maybe we will be next year or the following year. But right now, the way we're built, we have to play with great pace.
Talk about Devontae's game, production you got from him tonight.
Yeah, well, we have a, you know, when you get 10 or more rebounds, you sign the bubble. I don't think, I said, Devontae, have you signed the bubble since Morgan State last year? I was being facetious. I think he might have signed it once earlier in the year, but that's the best energy that he's played with in a while. But, you know, when we were good early, Rob was good. Devontae was good. A lot of guys were good. I mean, go back and look at those the 4 games we just lost, and look at Devontae, Ronnie, and Rob's numbers. You know, if you take Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Bogut or somebody from Golden State, and you put somebody in their place, they're not going to be as good. You know, your guys have to play. You know, one of the reasons our football team was so good, Greg Gore was great every game, except for one. And he didn't play in that one, so figure that one out. So, but you know, your guys have to play. And you have to find ways to get them back in the fold. And but again, we have high character guys. It's a really, really easy team to coach. I can't emphasize that enough. You know, I'm lucky that we have really good guys. You know, and that carries over to the classroom. You know, we had 7 guys with a 3.0. We had a team GPA over 2.8. You know, everybody passed an average of 14 credits. Think about that. We have good guys. They're all going to graduate. That's the kind of program we're building here.
Kelvin, before Galen got to campus, your expectations of him were already what he could contribute and what you thought he could do. You know, you're more than halfway now. Can you kind of talk about what you've seen from him development-wise and being able to play him and Ronnie, or really tonight he played him most of the game, but just be able to pick up his minutes and do what he's done.
Well, I think I've talked about this before, but you know, less is more this time of year. You know, I didn't mind rotating that position because neither one really separated from the other. You know, neither one had the right to say I should be the starting point guard. Let's say I didn't see any separation. But you know, we played. One of the toughest environments we played at was at Cincinnati. Galen was really good there. Ronnie struggled. Galen was pretty good, I thought, at SMU. So I said, you know, we're going to go with Galen right now. You know, and Galen didn't know it. I think I might have said it's one of our shooting sessions. I might have said something to you. But you know, I don't know that you can rotate point guards. Like, you know, what's the old saying, if you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. But Ronnie and Galen can play together too. You know, when I was recruiting Galen, I loved him the first time I saw him because he was what you look for. He is a point guard. You know, he's not a 3-man that's got to say, hey, you coach convinced I can play the 1. Or tricking people because, you know, I'm 6'5" and I can shoot, but I'm a point guard. Either point guard or you aren't. There is no gray area with that position. You know, it's like having a wide receiver that can throw it 80 yards, and people say, well, we'll make him a quarterback. No, he's just a wide receiver that can throw it 80 yards. He's a wide receiver. You know, point guards are point guards. That's what Galen is. He's not a 2. He's not a combo. He is a point guard. And he's, you know, as we build this program, you know, he's one of the guys we're building around. He's a freshman. And I also love the fact that it's part of our future, because you know, city of Houston is important to us. You know, you look at the 3 kids tonight that were major contributors. Galen is a Houston kid. Dot is a Houston kid. Chicken's from the Bahamas, but he went to high school in Houston, so we're going to claim him.
All right. Galen, thank you very much.